Hey, everybody. Listen, it's Monday, y'all. It's Monday. It's April the 14th. Welcome into the building. Thanks for being here. It's Trending Topic Monday, and we got things to talk about. I appreciate y'all for hanging in there with me and for being with me darn near almost every night. I really do. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hit the like button because Diva is striving to hit 40K for the month of April. And we got about 2 weeks left. We can do this, y'all. We can do this. Listen, tonight's topic is called protection. And actually, you know what? I didn't even think about it. It's a good title. Because if you was here last night for last night's show, Palm Sunday, yesterday was Palm Sunday, right? If you was here for last night's show, I had no idea, didn't call her, didn't reach out to her. But I was doing a story on Dwight Howard. I think that's his name, right? Dwight Howard. He was part of the trending topics, and I had two other stories that I didn't even get to, and I didn't even add them on to tonight's topic. But we got all week, whatever. So she popped in the chat. She clicked on the link. Royce Reed. And so it changed the whole direction of our show. So, I thought it was a pretty good neutral show last night, but she did reach out to me via email because she's in a contentious situation right now. And she said, Diva, can you please cut out this or cut out that from the show? Or she also asked me, or can you just private the video? Listen, Diva don't edit. I don't know how to edit. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I got stuff I need to learn to do. And, one day soon, I guess, Diva edit, or I'm going to have the people that edit for me. But right now, this Diva thing is a one-man show. It's Diva. It's me and me, myself, and I. Okay? Yes, I got my mods. Y'all be holding me down. And Flip, you know what? You are like the honorary mod. You know how they give those honorary doctorate degrees to all of those celebrities? Flip, you are like my honorary mod, and I love you, and I thank you so much because you always in the chat rooting for the Diva. I appreciate you, and tell them people to hit the like button. But I say long story short, in case you're going to try to go back and see it, she emailed me. She asked me, can I do a cut or private the video? And I just went ahead and private the video because you know what? Protection is the key. So if you miss a night with Diva, you're going to miss a lot. So that video will be private until maybe one day she'll say you can release it again, and I will. But until then, it will remain private. Protection is key. And as I do this, I got to tell you, I have fun doing this, but I'm never here. I do what the trending topics is. If it's out there, then I'm going to talk about it, right? But I don't just randomly say, oh, I saw on the streets, blah, 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 and I don't have no article or nothing to go with it because I'm not really here to hurt nobody. I'm just here to have fun. We're going to talk about the trending topics, and maybe every now and then we're going to help somebody or save somebody, but I'm not really here to be like, to the people because that's not what I'm here to do. But anyway, we got to get into tonight's show. And tonight's show, the title is called Protection. Protection. And so this woman said she lives, I want to say she's in the Bronx. And she said this man, she lives on the first floor. And listen, of course, my townhouse is ground level, right? And, but I told y'all I got ADT. Yes, I do. I got ADT up in here. We're not playing no games. Diva before Diva go to bed, the house be on lockdown. I can protect my little townhouse, me, okay? So anyway, she lived on ground level, ground floor apartment, and she said this man just keeps breaking in, and it's the same man keeps breaking into her apartment like it's his. And she said the cops are doing nothing about it. So she got herself 2 pit bulls. So the next time that man try to break in, he gonna be in for something. But it's a shame that she can't get the protection from the police like she should. She said he's a career criminal. He's deranged. And every time he go in jail, they let him back out. It's messy. But we're going to talk about it. Then we're going to talk about this principal from Ohio. A son happened at the school, was a threat. The cops were called. The cops get there, And between the secretary and the principal, they won't let the cops go investigate and do their job. It's messy. But what I didn't understand in this situation, and that's why we come here together to dissect things, and maybe y'all want to see something I didn't see. What I didn't understand is why the cops negotiating with the principal and the secretary. If you got a phone call about something, you here to protect the kids, go and investigate. Go and investigate. They sitting there going back and forth with the secretary and the principal. In the meantime, the kiddies in the school, something could happen to them. Because you trying to justify with the principal why you there. You are the police. You got authority. When you show up, you do what you got to do. So I didn't understand that. It was messy. And I was like, this is crazy. But we're going to talk about it. Then we're going to talk about Tony Rock. Now, I did this story on my channel. Tony Rock calls out Will Smith. He said his new album is trash. Yes, I did see that, Handy B. You talking about the kid that took the other kid's life. That story is so triggering for me. I said, you know, sometimes I got to save some stories to maybe later on in the week because I got to get prayed up. Because that's a triggering story. It's a very triggering story. And I don't know, at the end of the day, a young kid's life is gone. And this the whole thing is, but I did see it. But thank you for letting me know. I did see it though. So Tony Rock, which is Chris Rock's brother, said he's protecting his brother, and he said Will Smith's album is trash. And he said Will Smith, Chris Rock, and him will never, ever, ever be friends again. Now, that's heartbreaking to me. I wish they would find a way to kind of like figure this thing out. But I get it. If somebody slapped me on the stage of an awards show, would I be willing to accept the apology? Would I be willing to get over it? I can't say 100% yes, and I can't say 100% no. So all I could say in this situation is I get it. But I will say this, if Will Smith really wanted a road to apology, a road to forgiveness, there's no way he would have ever wrote a song about it on his new album. So for that, I do think, and y'all know I went hard for Will, I do think that's trash. So on that note, y'all know what time it is. I need a what in the chat, y'all? I need a choo-choo. Hold aboard, everybody. It is Monday Night Trending Topics, and we got stuff to talk about. The title is called Protection. Yes, we got the woman that had to get herself 2 pit bulls. So now she got a whole vet bill and dog food bill because the cops won't stop this deranged person from keep entering her house. Now, I know it ain't easy to move because you need the deposit, the down payment, you need a moving truck and all that. And then it's a matter of you trying to find a place that you can afford. But I think I would have to move. Then you got the principal versus a cop, and you got Tony Rock versus Will Smith. Let's talk about it. Hey, in my opinion.
Hey, Diva. Choo-choo.
Hey, Katrina. Hey, Julius.
Hey, y'all. Hit the like button. Choo-choo.
Hit the like button, people. Hit the like button. The Diva's working. If you're not a subscriber, subscribe. 40K, April, 40K. That's my goal. 40K subscribers for April. I'm almost there. Help the Diva cross the finish line. All right, we're going to go ahead and get right into this first story. And I think the first story is going to do this principle because I'm confused about it. I didn't understand it. I'm like, what the heck is going on? So let me go ahead and share a screen. Okay, let's take a
A
listen.
Columbus City Schools principal.
So last month, officers were called to Ridgeview Middle School to investigate a threat. Columbus police body camera video shows the officers being told once inside they can't go any further, sparking a disagreement between the principal and a police officer.
And this footage is getting attention from Attorney General Dave Yost and others on social media. NBC4 crime and safety reporter Anna Hoffman went through that video, and she joins us now to walk us through what happened. Anna?
Jen and Jared, Attorney General Dave Yost made a post on X saying, quote, "No principal in Ohio has the right to keep responding police out of a school building." Before officers arrived, the school did find the threat to be not credible. We are about to show you part of the 12-minute exchange between Ridgeview school officials and a Columbus police officer.
This is ridiculous. We are here in official capacity.
What you are seeing is body camera footage from the Columbus Division of Police. Officers were called to investigate a threat made by a student at Ridgeview Middle School on March 17th.
Those guests who are expected to have arrived.
The secretary, whose name we are not reporting, stops Officer Keith Connor in the front office.
You have to wait till you come in, sir.
I'm here on official police business.
I get that. I just radio for the safety security. Just have to wait for him to come in here to pick you up. Okay? Okay. Thank you.
Well,
I'm just saying that I'm just going by the rules that I've been instructed.
She tells them they need to wait for the school security team.
okay, we have authority over safety and security. Do you understand that?
Well,
We're Columbus
I
Police.
have authority over my principal. You do not talk my principal to me. So she tells me for you guys to wait. You're not the first one to go through this. And I'm not trying to be combative, but he told me to let you know, let him know when you got here. He's going to let you know. And I sprayed on him. He's coming to get you.
They go back and forth for about 4 minutes. Then school principal Natalie James enters.
If we have an emergency at the school, I should not have to explain to this woman why I'm here. I don't come here for party time. I come here on official police business. This is a game we've been playing for years. This is a game we no longer want to play with you. You should be welcoming us. You called us. If you don't want me here, and if you want me to beg you to get through that door, don't call me here.
Okay, well, I'm not really sure all that happened, but
it's all on recorded on body cam.
Well, but I just came over here because I heard some noise going on. I heard my secretary having to argue or whatever was going on. What I do know is, and I want to make sure this is on camera too, we felt a lot of disrespect by some of the members of the Columbus Police Department, including yourself, sir.
The officer says he shouldn't have to beg to get inside. The principal says this doesn't warrant an immediate response.
Well, then the other caveat too that we've been told from our district is that the police can't just go all over the building and do whatever you want to do.
Columbus City Schools tells me Superintendent Dr. Angela Chapman and Police Chief Elaine Bryant have reviewed the video and will join upcoming meetings with their leadership teams to discuss expectations. As of this afternoon, AG Yost's post on X has more than 200 likes and thousands of views. Jared?
Oh, child. And thank God it wasn't a real threat, because God only knows what would have happened to the kids. Hold on 1 second. Let me share a screen. We'll get a little bit more information. So Ohio principal blocked cops from investigating a bomb threat and has a disdain for law enforcement, police union press says. The Ohio principal, let me just pause this, who attempted to bar police officers from entering her school to investigate a bomb threat last month, has a history of hostility towards the cops, the Post has learned. Newly released body cam footage shows Ridgewood Middle School principal Natalie James and her secretary arguing with two on-duty Columbus cops, responding to a student's hoax bomb threat after telling them they couldn't enter the building without the school security officer present. The incident, which occurred on March 17th, is just the latest dust-up between James and Columbus Division of Police officers, the local police union president told the Post. Brian Still, president of the Capital City Fraternal Order of Police Lodge Number 9, told the Post in an interview that James has explicit bias and disdain for law enforcement and a history of interfering with cops' business. This has been going on for years with this one principal who has an ongoing pattern of hindering law enforcement, Still said, citing upwards a dozen incidents between James and Columbus police officers. Still says he's been fielding calls from Ridgewood's parents outraged over James' behavior. James is the parent of the sixth grade son at Ridgeville Middle School. He called James' interaction with the cops shameful, but wasn't surprised at what he saw. She shows no respect to anyone, De Niro told the Post. The principal at the school is pretty much a SARS. She makes her own rules, and her opinion is the only one that counts. Officer Kenneth Connor, who responded to March 17th incident at Ridgewood, expressed a similar sentiment after leaving the school that day. She's absolutely the most uncooperative person that I ever dealt with in the school system, Connor is heard saying in the body cam footage. That followed a nearly 10-minute argument with James and his secretary, in which both insisted that school protocol precluded the officers from entering without the school security officer. Hold on one second. What we've been told by the district is that the police can't just go all over the building and do whatever they want to do, James told the two officers on the scene, before adding that she felt threatened by them. I didn't have any hate toward the police, but all of this escalatedness and so forth and so on, I do not feel safe. I don't feel comfortable, she said. Officer Connor repeatedly explained the law enforcement has authority over school safety and security officers and shouldn't have to wait for permission to respond to an emergency. My thing is, why did they wait and why was they going back and forth with her? For some reason, you don't like the police and you don't want to you want to make things difficult for us, that we don't want to come to your school, Connor said to James in the recording. I don't know what in your life happened that you hate us so much that you don't want to cooperate. Ultimately, the two officers left the school without making contact with the student responsible for the hoax. That's problematic too, though, right? The incident is currently under investigation in the City of Columbus Department of the Inspector General, which declined to comment on the matter, which is under active review. Still says he reached out to Columbus City School Superintendent Angela Chapman to clarify the district's protocol regarding police officers conducting official business on school premises. And she assured him she was looking into the issue. But what's the protocol? What she did was illegal. You can't make a policy that trumps state and local laws, Still told the Post. That's not how that works. Columbus City Schools spokesman Mike told the Post that Dr. Chapman and the Columbus Police Chief Elaine Bryant both revealed and discussed the footage and will have a meeting with both of their leadership teams to reinforce commitments and expectations. I made it clear to the Chief of Police that any action to discipline Connor will not be tolerated, Still said. Our officer did nothing wrong. The Columbus Division of Police declined the Post request to interview the officers involved. Franklin County Court records show James was arrested in 2022 for domestic violence and assault. The charges were later dismissed. James did not return the Post request for a comment. This is messy. Savannah, your thoughts?
Oh, Diva, that's a lot. That is a lot there. I think that there's some work that needs to be done in this community. I think that the educators, the Board of Education definitely needs to get involved and look at the leadership in this school, as well as there has to be a bridge. There absolutely has to be a bridge built between law enforcement and the administrators at this school. The last thing that we want is another Uvalde where officers lag to respond to a real credible emergency because administrators were blocking them from gaining entrance. Now, I think let me see. I think it was around January. My grandbaby school here in Virginia, she had informed me that um, their their school had made the decision that law enforcement and ICE. Well, basically, what they did is they put another barrier where we couldn't just walk into the schools anymore. We would have to ring a bell outside the window in order to gain access into the school, and that includes law enforcement. And it was because of the um, ICE raids that they're doing in these schools, and this was during January. So I was like, and I was concerned because what if there is an actual event? We just had an incident, maybe a week or so ago, where a child um, took their parents' pow pow to school and put it in his book bag, a third grader, and when he went inside his book bag, it discharged, and and it discharged. And this was a third grader while he was in school in class. Other students were in class, but he went in his book bag to get something, and the pow pow went off. The parents did get in a lot of trouble. So this is the dangerous games that we play when we finagle the rules and the security of our babies in these institutions, where if you prevent law enforcement from entering, and when there is a real credible threat. But I do know that there's also, I've seen on the news of counties using law enforcement and ICE as one to come into these schools and do raids. So it's a double-edged sword that we're doing here, because under the Constitution, educators are responsible for, they're obligated for the education of our students and the safety of our students while they're in that school. The staff and educators are responsible for our children while they're there. But there was a change to the law recently where law enforcement and ICE agents cannot be denied entry into any school unless it's private. That's different. But I think this is a dangerous game the school is playing, and they need. This is, when there is a real actual emergency, they're going to need these police officers to be there and be their line of defense.
I agree with you. Thank you, Savannah. Katrina, your thoughts?
Yeah. My thing is, who called the cops? Because they say they didn't.
No, they
And
did. They did, but then they resolved it. They resolved it before the cops got there, and then they didn't want the cops to investigate. But when you do a false alarm, the cops should have been allowed to investigate it, because even false alarms are a crime. But go ahead. Like lying is a crime. A hoax is a crime. But go ahead.
true that. But the thing is, they had security on campus. And the protocol is for the security guard to walk with the police officer through that. That's why they told him to wait for the security guard to come up there with them so they can go back there. As in the fact of, yes, they changed the laws that people cannot just come into schools anymore because of them taking um immigrant kids up out of there, which is a sad situation, because of something like that. And I'm thinking, like, if a bomb threat was called in, what was the bomb squad? Why didn't they show up? And I'm not excusing the principal or the secretary, but basically they're following the laws that the Board of Education have put there. I mean, the people just can't go in these schools and just go to kids' classes anymore. We can't just go into schools and go to kids' class anymore. We have to ring a bell ourselves before they let us in that door. And if you don't have an appointment with that teacher, they're not going to even let you go up on that floor unless you signed in for a conference with that teacher. You just can't go to the kids' classrooms and stuff anymore. You got to go through that office. And if the office, they'll call to ask the teacher up there, whatsoever, can so and so come up and see their child or grandchild or whatever, they'll do it that way. They have changed so many protocols in their school, which we know, is a dangerous thing because if something like that does happen. But these people have changed these laws so much and made it more stricter that the secretary and the principal was doing their job. And that's sad to say, but that's what their job is supposed to do. I mean, they're doing what they're supposed to do. The security guard is supposed to walk that cop and stuff in there. It's sad, and it's gonna put a lot of people at risk. But that's how they have changed the laws into this society now. That nobody can get in them schools unless they ring that bell on the outside. They got to go in that office. You just can't go to your kids or grandkids classroom anymore unless you get a clearance. And I, I, I don't know what this world has come to, but that's all I got, Diva.
Thank you. Yeah, I could see the average person not just having free willy nilly through the school, but the police officers is a whole nother level. Katrina, your thoughts? I mean, not Katrina. In my opinion, your thoughts?
It seemed like this lady's playing Russian roulette with these kids' lives.
Mm-hmm.
Because if there is a real situation, you better safe than sorry.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I wouldn't care how much I felt like they needed to be. No, because let me tell you something. What you're gonna do is piss them off, and then when you really need them, they're not gonna show up
Mm.
because nobody's gonna go through 10 minutes of arguing with you to get access to find out what's going on, and you ain't giving it to them. So now you playing Russian roulette with your not only your life but those kids' lives. Because if it's an active what you call it up there, then guess what? If they say we don't want to go through the Russian roulette of this school no more, we don't want to sit here and have to talk to them for 10 minutes and then have to go in a dangerous situation. We putting our lives on the line too. They are there to protect and serve. Let those police officers do their jobs. We complain when they do their jobs and we complain when they don't.
Thank you. Julius, your thoughts?
I agree with the officers. They were there to respond.
Mm-hmm.
And they are correct. They do top the school security. That woman was on an ego trip and thinking she knew it all, but she doesn't. And by the article, it said that she was arrested for DV, correct?
Mm-hmm. Not that particular time. Another time, but then the charges were dropped.
It doesn't matter if it was another time. So you have a hatred because of something that you did, where I assume the officers were doing their job. So you have a grudge of your own doing. Sweetie, you need to take a seat somewhere and have a look at yourself in the mirror. Because if that was a real threat, I would be cheering the parents on and suing your behind by the wayside. All because you wanted to have an ego stroke. Be God the glory that it wasn't a real threat. But you need to have several seats.
Thank you. I appreciate you. I'm gonna go ahead and roll right
Diva, let me
into.
say something real quick.
Go ahead.
I get what you're saying that she's on an ego trip, but the laws have changed. When they realized that it wasn't a complete threat, that's changed everything. Now I'm thinking if it was a threat and it was alarming whatsoever, maybe she would have let them went in there. But by ICE coming in there and just taking kids, the school superintendents of all schools have set laws that in just nobody can walk up in there without the security. I get what y'all are saying. Don't get me wrong, but it wasn't us that changed the laws. It was the people that changed the laws because the kids was getting snatched up from immigration. That's why they changed the law. Now I think if it was a complete threat, I don't think she would have stopped them from doing this. I really don't. But by them changing these laws with the immigration, she just following rules. And I guarantee you, Diva, when you follow up on this story, you're gonna see exactly what I'm saying. It's correct. It wasn't her that was doing this. It was the people that have changed the laws because they're trying to protect the kids in the school. Because I've seen it on the news myself that they have stopped people from coming into school. They have to stop these ICE, and ICE had to go back and get warrants because they were just coming to the schools, taking these kids out of the schools. So I'm not saying that she was right in that, doing that, but I'm saying that she just following the law because there wasn't an immediate threat. And no, I mean, yes, she probably had an ego or whatsoever, but if you're looking at the news, if you're following the news, they're saying that they have stopped these people from coming in these schools because they're coming in and getting these kids and taking them away.
The police know the law. If that was the law, Katrina, they wouldn't be able to do it.
They know, everybody know the law. The ones
But
that went
this
in there and
has
got the
nothing
kids
to
knew
do
the
with
law, but they still
ICE.
was going in there to get them.
This
ICE was
has
still
nothing to
going in
do
there
with
to get them.
ICE.
That's why they stopped it. They don't know who's ICE or who's not. If you watching the news, you will see that ICE was going in there. The regular police officer was going in there snatching up these children.
But
That's
these
why
they got on regular police clothes, Katrina. They ain't no ICE agents.
ICE have on regular police clothes too, love.
Okay, so let me say this really quickly. If that was the law and the rule, right? Why, when they spoke to the superintendent, didn't she just say, listen, I understand your frustration, but Miss James was correct because our rule is that they need to walk around with the security guard. She didn't say that. Everybody's looking into the incident. My first thing I would have said was, if they called me and I was the superintendent, she was following protocol. That's not what the superintendent said. The superintendent said she revealed the body cam footage. She's looking into it. The first thing that would have came out my mouth is, yes, that is the law, and maybe we need to look at it. But let's just roll with this, right? That's the rule. The body cam footage is actually 12 minutes. I wasn't going to play the whole 12 minutes. It's 12 minutes long. You mean to tell me during that 12 minutes, the security guard couldn't have came? If the security guard is taking that long to get to the front office, that's a whole nother problem right there too.
That part.
So either way, I get what you're saying, Katrina, but this situation is different. This James person, she's problematic. And even the parents are saying she's problematic, combative, and whatever she says goes. Some people, they are not good in authoritative positions because they let it go to their head. And not for nothing, and I hate to, but the trial is coming up soon, so I'll use this as an example. Did he let that money go to his head? And that's why he's behind bars in the Metropolitan Detention Center out there in Brooklyn right now. People think because they have money, they could get away with whatever. Your dirt comes back to you. No, they saying she's a whole tyrant. She's problematic. So all the other arguments are something different. This woman right here, she's problematic. And then she got her secretary, but they said that it starts at the top, right? She got her secretary acting just like her. Talking about, I'm not trying to be combative, but y'all can't go nowhere till the security guard get here. Did you call security, lady? And in the meantime, if this was a real threat, we would be looking at this different because that Miss James would have maybe caused some kids to lose their lives. And I think that somebody still needed to speak to that kid who called the hoax. But I'm going to move on to the next story, y'all. And the next story is the poor woman. She said this man keep breaking into her apartment. She had to get 2 pit bulls. Let me see where my story is at. So New York City woman forced to buy pit bulls to defend herself as unhinged career criminal keeps breaking into her home, but the courts won't lock him up. A terrorized Bronx woman has armed herself with a pair of pit bulls in a desperate effort to defend herself from an unhinged career criminal who keeps breaking into her home but remains on the streets. Beauty salon owner, I'm going to say Tisha Hairston, said she's petrified that 33-year-old Jarrell Coburn is stalking her after the vibrant broke into her home 3 times in under 10 days last month, but keeps getting a slap on the wrist due to a soft on crime court system that won't lock him up. In fact, Coburn, who has at least 9 unsealed busts on his rap sheet, tried to bust in again on April 9th, just 9 days after he was last nabbed inside her Longwood ground floor apartment. That's her there. That's her 2 babies she got, 2 pit bulls. He really thinks this is his apartment, Hairston 47 told the Post. He really thinks he lives here. This guy is very, very dangerous. He just won't stop. The guy won't stop. I don't know this guy from anywhere. Something's really wrong with this dude, she added. That's why I got my sister's dogs. The law won't do anything to protect me. I got to be protected somehow. Coburn, who past arrests include charges that he assaulted and spat on NYPD cops, has 5 open cases in the Bronx, including 3 for allegedly breaking into Harrison's apartment. The woman's nightmare began on March 21st when she was upstairs in the neighbor's apartment. He had heard loud banging from below and dashed down only to come face to face with Coburn, she said. So I ran downstairs and he runs out of the building, she said. But before he ran out of the building, he pulled out a pow-pow on me. So I ran back upstairs and he runs out of the building and I called the cops. Coburn was back on March 27th, this time allegedly busting into her home while she was at her friend's apartment and running her sink until it flooded the boiler room below. The landlord came and said, "Someone's in your apartment." I said, "No one's there. Only you got the key and I got the other key." He said, "Nobody's there." I called the cops again and they arrested him that night. Hauled into court, Coburn was charged with menacing, weapons possession, criminal mischief, and harassment in the March 21st incident, and with the criminal trespassing in March 27th case. The Bronx District Attorney Office asking during the March 28 court proceedings that he be held on $5,000 cash bail or $15,000 bond, but the judge released him without bail, prosecutors said. Cops never recovered the weapon allegedly used in the first break-in. 2 days later, he was allegedly back at her apartment. I unlocked my door and there he is, she recalled. He goes, "Get the F out of here. This is my apartment," and slammed the door. He almost cut my fingers off. I just ran and I called the cops and they blocked every exit that he could not run out of and had to knock the door down to get him and arrest him, she said. Back in court on March 31st, the judge ordered an order of protection but released Coburn without bail again, largely because the criminal trespassing charges he faced are not eligible for bail under the state's lenient 2019 criminal justice reforms. Coburn has not been arrested again, but she said her nightmare did not end there. He tried again on April 9th, but the super had nailed the window. She told the Post. That's when she decided to borrow Prince and Seymour, her sister's pit bulls, for protection. You know what's crazy to me? What's sad is that he nailed the window down, but now if there's an emergency or a fire, how does she get out? I don't know this dude from nowhere, she said. Either lock him up or I'm going to move. He's in a state where he could really hurt somebody. You climb up someone's window and climb in, you could arm me. People like him should be locked away and never let out, she said. He could do it again to anybody, and eventually the outcome will be very, very bad. Coburn's public defender lawyer could not be reached for a comment. This is crazy. Savannah, your thoughts?
this is scary. My goodness, no one should have to live like that. I mean, this person is struggling with mental health issues, and I mean, she's a single woman, and I can't even imagine how her day to day is, and nothing that she does. And I thought the same thing as you. You nail the windows down, and if there's a fire, how does she escape? That's I'll move. It's time to move. I'm so sorry. It is time to actually move out of state. Because no matter how many what is it, pit bulls she has there, I don't think it will stop. This
I don't.
perpetrator has some mental health issues that he's struggling with, because he's been back in there many times. And how do you sleep? Poor woman. Where's her village, her family, and where does her sister live? Can she not go stay with her until she moves to a better location? That is still, I can't imagine what she goes through. I know my best friend, she lives out in the country, Georgia, and she has 4 pit bulls, adults. And I won't visit her house, and those are her babies. She doesn't have children; those are her babies. But it is for protection, so I can understand having those animals around, because it does give you a sense of protection. But this man is not stopping. So what is the end game? When somebody's going to end up getting hurt?
Yeah, I agree with you. Katrina, your thoughts?
Now this is time to bring out Smith and Wesson. And you know what that means. Because see, if he got a pow pow, he can pow pow the dogs. And what I don't get is with the superintendent, you know, she's going through all this as an apartment. Do y'all have an empty apartment in the complex that y'all can put her in? And I would be suing the judge, this whole criminal system, because this man is calling me anguish. He's calling me PTSD. Y'all keep letting him out. I keep going down there reporting it, and you just letting him walk. He caused me all kinds of conflict, and y'all letting this man just walk and get away with everything. If he come out and hurt her, then therefore the family members gonna sue. But why do they have to sue when they could prevent this from happening? Like I said, Smith and Wesson would be my best friend, and I'm not talking about cooking oil. But that's all I got.
Thank you. In my opinion, your thoughts?
Um, yeah, I definitely would look into a lawsuit. I would sue them for failing to protect me. Y'all supposed to be protecting and serving, and y'all ain't protecting nor serving me. Um, I feel like this is an injustice to her. You know what I'm saying? She lives in fear every day, while everybody else go home and sleep peacefully. She has to worry when is the next time this man's gonna break into her apartment, um, or whatever. And I feel like that's the injustice to her. We all know NYC rent is extremely high. So finding something in her budget may be her issue. I just don't see how they letting this happen so many times with no consequences.
Yeah, it's a shame. Julius, your thoughts?
She's gonna have to protect herself. And I want to echo on what Katrina said with this one. I think that's what it's gonna take for her to send a firm message. Leave me alone. Now, I want to make clear I'm not advocating for anything sinister, but this lady is in fear for her life. So when it comes down to it, she's either going to have to choose her life or his. And I think she knows what decision she has to make.
Thank you, Julius. I do think the man probably has mental health issues. I mean, he's thinking that's his apartment, but to go in there and then he flooded her apartment. This is crazy. I don't know. And she's fortunate that a few times she wasn't even down there. She was upstairs, like at her friend's apartment. I don't even know if I would be able to sleep in there, even if I had my sister dogs with me.
Exactly. And I don't know why the superintendent, knowing she going through this and this man keep coming in, and this is a woman breaking in this apartment, even though it's costly to move. But I'm just saying, if he got like an empty unit in that building, they need to put that woman in there. You coming in there nailing down the windows, and this man coming through the door. This is ridiculous. Move that lady to somewhere else. This is sad. We could be you could be telling us about a whole different part of this story, because they're neglecting to do what they need to do to protect this woman. And it's not like she's out there causing any crimes. She's trying to prevent crimes, because getting him out of there and leaving her alone. Now, if she would have did the pow, here they come with the handcuffs. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, this is not good. And yeah, this is not good. I'll see if there's going to be any updates on this story. So I will keep you posted. I'm going to go ahead and roll right into our last story now. And our last story is Tony Rock pretty much saying what Will Smith did with this album is just messy. And I said it before. I thought it was pretty messy too. So Tony Rock, Will Smith using Oscar slap to sell a S album, still drops a Billboard flop. Let's hear Tony speak.
It's a good time to be a comic right now.
Yeah, hey, well,
great time to be a comic right now. Will Smith has an album out, and it's a piece of shit, and he addresses the Oscars. It's a good time to be a comic right now.
What do you think about that? Like, I mean, bro, like he's going back to it.
Everybody keep telling me to stop talking about it, but then he fucking puts it on the song, so that gives me leeway to talk about it again. Album's trash. I'm just assuming that I haven't listened to it, but
do you refuse to listen to it?
I refuse to listen to it.
The fact that he brought it up on the album.
Like that motherfucker trying to sell a shitty album. I'm surprised he wasn't talking about being a drug dealer on this one. Or he went to jail and got shot 9 times. He's trying to sell a shitty album. His best work was I'm still a hip hop head. That doesn't change.
So you like
his best work was Brand New Funk.
Okay. All right. So you'll give him that.
I'll give him that. I'll give him. I mean, I'm not entirely, an asshole.
Okay.
I know people think I'm an asshole. I'm just protecting my brother.
Well, I like
my brother's keeper. That's all.
I like that you can talk about like things, and it doesn't have to involve emotion. You're like, hey,
I'm a hip hop head. I'm a hip hop head to the core. This sounds probably shitty as fuck because I haven't heard anything about it other than he addresses your brother. If that's the only selling point, that's a shitty album.
Does this make things worse or better? Will him and your brother?
No. This is the saying that I don't like, but this applies. It is what it is.
Yeah.
They ain't friends. They ain't gonna be friends. It is what it is.
There's no.
Nobody. I don't think either one of them lost a significant amount of money behind this bullshit.
Yeah.
My brother might have actually made a little more money.
Well, yeah, that Netflix special
might have made a little more money. But ain't nobody hurting. All of us are walking in the bank on Monday with smiles on our faces.
Will Smith released his first album in 20 years based on a true story last month to mostly closed ears. The album failed to hit any Billboard charts, a new career low. TMZ Hip Hop caught up with Tony Rock at LAX on Monday, and he's openly admitted he hasn't heard any of Will's new album, but happily gave us his review. The S album is an S album anyways, what he said, and we heard it. To be fair, Tony admits his bias towards Will stems from the 2022 Oscar fiasco, where his big bro Chris Rock was slapped on stage on live TV. But Tony tells us he's only heard about Will's album because he addresses the slap, and he feels Will's doesn't have much material going if he's using the slap as a selling point. Ditto for any biopic Will plans to do about his life, even if it's based on truth. Tony says he tried to let the issue go, but he's appalled the French press would refresh the beef by attempting to sell off sell off raps, lace, and doo-doo. Attempted is the key word here. In addition to not hitting the Billboard, the album only sold 268 copies in the UK during the first week. The album had a mega press run, which included Will getting his own street sign in Philadelphia, and also guest features from DJ Jazzy Jeff, Joyner Lucas, Russ, and Big Sean. If it doesn't seem the audience, it just doesn't seem the audience cared. At least there's always Bad Boys 5. I guess if he comes out with Bad Boys 5. Savannah, your thoughts?
I think that's going to be his best bet, is to come out with Bad Boys 5, because I didn't even know he had an album out.
Yeah.
I think, and to only sell 268 copies, my goodness, that's horrible.
They said in the UK, so they didn't tell us what happened in the US, but yeah, it's messy.
Oh, okay, that was in the UK. Oh boy.
Yeah.
This is, I don't know. Will, it's too early for him to come back. I think this is one of those moments where it's in history where the public cannot, we immediately go back to that slap and to that moment where Will just threw away his career, whether it's movies, singing, acting. Although he'll continue to be a household name, but that slap will forever be tied to Will and Chris, and Will behaving in the manner that he did. I just need him to go sit down somewhere, and this isn't his time to come back. I think he came back way too fast, way too soon, and I'm tired of hearing about the slap. There's so many more things that are going on, and but Tony is going to continue using it in his material and making money off of it. So he's probably making more money than Will is on the music. That's sad. I don't know. Good luck. We'll find it in a Family Dollar soon enough.
Katrina, your thoughts? Not the Family Dollar.
What way did Will use the slap in his song? Was it derogatory, or was it a way of apology? That makes a difference, because I haven't heard it and he hasn't heard it. So how can he say it was album? And you have to realize this: when Will did slap Chris Rock, his ticket sales went up, because his ticket sales wasn't even selling until Will gave him that slap. So maybe that was a blessing in disguise, even though he did it on a public platform. But Chris Rock wasn't selling any tickets with his comedy shows until he got that slap. That's when he raised his prices and everything up. So with Will have did a lot of body of work, and every summer when summertime come out, everybody know that song. But I think that people have done worse, and I'm not agreeing with what he did. But we have seen people did way worse than Will slap somebody. We have seen people been racist. We have seen people been pow. We have seen people did a lot of things. So, and Will is very good at what he does, and I just can't take that away from him. But no, that wasn't the right thing to do. But like Chris Rock brother said, all of them walking into the bank on Monday, because Will ain't losing no money. If that album don't sell anything, that's not gonna hurt Will. It might hurt his ego, but it's not gonna hurt his pockets. So like I said, I haven't heard the song. I don't know if he used that in a derogatory way, or how did he use it. Maybe he used it in apologizing way. We don't know. But we'll see how it goes. But that's all I got, Diva.
Thank you. Tay, your thoughts?
Wow, it's been 20 years since Will put out album. In 20 years. The only two albums I like from Will is Wild Wild West, Man in Black. That's only two albums I like from him. But I did not hear when this music come out. Is in UK. I was hoping it gonna come over here in USA. I'm just waiting. I want to hear what it said right there.
It's here, Tay Tay. It's just they just said it just sold. It only sold a certain amount in the UK.
Well, I said you should slap Chris in the first place. Then we won't have problem at all. But I still love you, Will, as an actor. I still do. It's just you need to get rid of that wife of yours, Jada. I don't like her at all. That's all.
Thank you. In my opinion, your thoughts?
DV, you keep trying to call me Katrina. Listen here, Will is an icon, okay, and we cannot deny the boy has talent. Um, the song that they're talking about, I have heard it. It has Jazzy Jeff on it, and it's more of a joking matter. He wasn't talking about it derogatory. He wasn't saying he was proud of it. He's saying that y'all thought y'all was doing something by taking that Oscar from me. Y'all thought y'all was doing something because I slapped him. He was saying, y'all ain't stopping me. I'm still making Bad Boys. I'm still making money. I made Men in Black. It was a joke. I like the Be Proof. It's amazing. Okay, I think Will is an amazing lyricist, and that's the one thing we can't take away from him. Whereas these other rappers have had to live up on the pow and everybody, Will never had to do that. He never had to do that. In his raps was always more clean version. It was more friendly version, family friendly version, and you got to hear something that was really lyrically, just Philly style. I like him. I do. I love me some Will. I'm not gonna turn on my boy. Okay, Will is my boy. I ain't a Philly girl, but I'm a Will. But I just think he making a big deal out of nothing. You didn't hear it, so why judge something you ain't heard yet? You can't knock something you never heard before. This is all for him to get some clout. I notice he come out all the time. Chris don't even come out as much as his brother come out. What have you done, sir? Show us your body of work.
Thank you. In my opinion, Julius, your thoughts?
Oh, he mad because Will won't cut him a check. Oh, will he want a cookie? Oh. Anywho, look, it's been 3 years. You know what? Will could look back and laugh at it. And if he decided to put it in a song, guess what? Good for him. Like, shoot, him and Jada still together. They ain't split up, even though they should, because he'll have a healthy mental. Let's just keep it real. And no, don't get me started with her book. Now, back to the subject at hand. It's been 3 years. And Chris Rock, brother, I don't even know your name, except not even your character from when you was on, what was it, with Tasha husband, that show. Yeah, you a nobody, and you talking about Will. I know more about Will Smith than you. Like, you and your brother are mad that what y'all need to be doing is thanking Will because he put money in y'all's pockets. If you want to be technical about it, he put money in y'all's pockets. He ran y'all the money. But y'all still want to be salty. Oh, what y'all want, a cookie? Sit down somewhere.
All right. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for being here. It's been Trending Topics Monday. We had stuff to talk about. This pit bull situation, the apartment. All I could say is God bless her. I would literally, and I know it's not easy, but I would have to move. The principal versus the cop. I'm 10 toes down. The cop is wrong. Tony Rock talking about Will Smith, whether he said it in a good way or a bad way. My opinion on Will. Will was wrong for this. Thank you, Raheem. Will was wrong for this album. I don't care if he said it in a good way or a bad way. You still assaulted somebody. You still slapped somebody. It's wrong. let it go. And if anything, if I was going to do it, I would have said what he should have did was a rap that says, my apology to Chris. And it could have went something like, I tried to call you, you didn't want to sit down. It's okay, because here I go now. And then he could have wrote some more lyrics, okay?
Okay, Jazzy Diva.
Come on now. Come on now. And then he could have wrote, I'm sitting down. This is my apology to you. I never meant to really slap you. I was in the moment. In the moment, took me away. But here I am today saying, Chris, I'm sorry. Can you forgive me? Something like that. I don't know. I'll write it for him. I'll write it with him. But what he did, I think he could have did better. Listen, come on now, right? Could have wrote an apology to him. Apology rap. And I think that would have went over well. A lot of these celebrities, they don't have the right people advising them. They need help. They can consult me for a small fee. Anyway, listen, guys, thanks for being here. Y'all know the routine. If you didn't hit that like button on the way in, hit the like button on the way out. Good night and goodbye, everybody. Choo choo.
Choo choo, beefy, thank you.